Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and what you just saw is drone footage coming from the People's Liberation Army. They sent in the just simple consumer grade drones, those DJI drones, and they basically go all the way to the sentry post, and in a way posting this video as a taunt against the Taiwanese defense. And Taiwan took this very seriously. So in the today's broken news, Taiwan military is launching a new anti-drone system in 2023. So this remote-controlled drone defense system will be built across all 45 facilities across Taiwan. So let me read this news from Taiwan News. In the wake of an incident from the Chinese civilian drones captured photos and videos of Taiwanese soldiers stationed in Kinmen. So in case you do not know where is Kinmen, let me show you. So Kinmen, this is Taiwan island. This is not the entire of the Taiwanese country. The Republic of China, which is what we know as Taiwan, actually is beyond just these islands. It also includes the Kinmen County here, just next to Xiamen, which is the Chinese city. So this area here, this big island and small island, this actually belongs to Taiwan or Republic of China, and this part, the islands or the peninsula or the mainland around it, it actually belongs to the People's Republic of China, which is what we also known as China today. So these drones flew across the small waterway and capture footages directly onto the military positions. And in fact, I believe that this might happen quite a bit or often, or maybe they never happened before. I'm not sure, but it just shows that there's no defenses against such small drones, and the footages published is a taunt to basically make Taiwan look bad. But it does show a security issue for the Taiwanese, and now the Ministry of Defense, National Defense, issued a press release say that they will prioritize the deployment of UAV defense system next year to deal with the gray zone warfare threats. So gray zone warfare probably is referring to things that is not exactly war, but is not war as well. So they put out the ministry pointed out each military base has a protocol in place to deal with drone intrusions, including audio warning and firing flares, and combat ready troops taking up tactical positions depending on the threat level, which the area commander can decide. So they say that armed forces have completed the construction of remote controlled drone defense system to counter intrusions by civilian drones. So they now expect this defense system to be up in 2023. So they already completed the construction of the defense system, but it's not deployed. So I don't think this statement makes much sense. I think they haven't finished building. They probably finished the design. And the establishment, so in the 2022 budget refers to the establishment of remote control defense system at bases, ports, and airport. And in important areas, the facilities are located, such as the outer island outpost, mountain station, missile position. Reconnaissance and jamming will be carried out on intruding UAVs. So they said that they will improve the base and aviation safety and wartime defense capability. The anti-drone defense system will be built at 45 facilities across Taiwan between 2022 to 2026. So in today in Straits Times, which is the Singapore main newspaper, they had a bit more information than the Taiwan news. This drone system has to be paid. Why is it in 2023? Because they need to budget for it, and this comes with a 14% jump in defense spending to deploy this drone system after the rock throwing video, which is basically what we just saw just now in the beginning of this video. So Taiwan have proposed a record 27 billion Singapore dollars, which is also Canadian dollars, in defense spending for next year. So it's a double-digit increase on 2022, which already includes funds for new fighters. So let's scroll down to something meaningful. So The overall defense budget sets a 13.9% year-on-year increase. Of course, this is still dwarfed by what China is spending on their military, and this in this budget there's 108.3 Taiwanese dollars billion dollars Taiwanese dollars in spending for fighter jets and special funds. So I'm not sure what's so special about this fund, and they do not provide the breakdown of specific. This is a national secret. So the planned defense is the planned defense spending is actually a record high, and then it must be approved by the parliament, and I believe this will be passed pretty easily, because given all the tension that's happening over the past few weeks, any politician to vote against it is not going to do very well in the next election, I think. So let's move on to something. So in March, China say they will spend 7.1% more on defense in 2022, which amounts to 294.5 billion Singapore dollars. That's a lot of money. That is basically almost 0.2 billion. 200 billion US dollars, around there. So and the experts say that this is likely not to be the true figure. So maybe more, maybe less. And let's see, is there anything else important? So they said that this drone footage, the defense ministry said that they will deploy the anti-drone system, which we already saw on Taiwan news. Then there's a statement saying that officers and soldiers at all levels will continue to implement vigilance in accordance to the principle of not escalating conflict or causing dispute. This is by the Taiwan Defense Ministry. China did not comment on the footage, but they put it out on their Chinese social media for people to make fun of it. And but this triggered a heated discussion in Taiwan. The interesting thing about Taiwan is that they are Chinese, mass majorities Chinese people. That means people who can speak Chinese and understand Chinese, and they are very heavily using China social media, like WeChat, or all the Chinese social media things that you will know, like Baidu and whatever. But they also have access to the Western ones like Google, Twitter, which the China citizens don't have access to. But because Chinese system is in Chinese, so it's very natural for them to just use a lot of this China social media, and they probably see all these things firsthand. Because if you are in the Western social media, unless you are on Twitter and you are following the right accounts, then you probably will not see this kind of footages. So this caused a heated discussion, and the Taiwanese social media users say this is a humiliation for the island, and urge the defense ministry to step up countermeasures to the increasingly frequent drone incursions, which means that this drone incursions is not new, which means my hypothesis that this is a common thing, or this is something that the China military have always been doing, but this is the first time they actually see the drone footage being released by the Chinese defense. Who knows, this might not even be a drone launched by the People's Liberation Army. It might actually be a commercial drone by a civilian trying to be funny, and then he put it on social media. But that still put into a very serious situation where how can you allow a simple commercial drone to fly into a military position without any countermeasures, and the soldiers have to resort to using a stick and throwing stones at the drone. And we see in the Ukraine war coverage, or if the videos that you saw in the Ukraine war, drones do not operate that low. Drones usually fly very, very high. So if you stone throwing at that height where we saw does not even work at all. Not to mention in a military and a war setting, you probably don't even see the drones, and this is a serious situation that the Taiwanese military will have to deal with. And so the senior lawmaker of Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party, Wang Tingyu, described the incident as very serious, which I agree, and a question why the defense ministry did not respond to the incursion. So they say that the drones are flying on top of our soldiers on guard, but there's zero response. If you just let them come and go freely, this is the negligence of duty. And I actually fully agree. And in fact, I feel that the soldiers should have picked up their rifle and shoot at the drone. However, being in the military before, sentries and patrols, or people on guard duty, they don't really have many rounds. Typically probably 5 rounds, mainly used for self-defense purposes or warning shot purposes, because most of the time is peacetime. You don't need that much ammo. You don't need a full magazine of 30 rounds to do a sentry job, unless you are in a war situation like in Ukraine, where if you are a military guard in a war setting like in Ukraine, then you probably need a full magazine or 2. But in a peacetime situation like what is happening in this drone footage, the soldiers might not have enough rounds to even take down a drone. Not to mention, shooting a drone is not something that we train in the military. Like we aim forward and far, 100, 200, 400 meters, but we do not aim upwards. So shooting upwards requires a different kind of training, because how the bullet flies and the trajectory actually is different from shooting forward. So maybe the doctrine of the soldiers, positioned in these positions, do not have the right doctrine or protocols or trainings to deal with such a threat. And not to mention, shooting down drones, like I mentioned, is really, really hard. Like we have already seen in Ukraine war, most of the drones are not shot down by rifles. Even the Russian troops, they saw the drone, the Ukrainian drone, and they tried to shoot down the drone using their machine guns and rifles, but it doesn't hit the drone. So it's not so simple. Very, very hard. So basically, this is the interesting situation coming out from Taiwan, and hope this broken news is broken enough for you, and I'll see you in the next update.